According to David Hawkins' map of consciousness, people living in the victim blame state baseline have a very low level of consciousness. They cannot accurately perceive truth and reality at that level. According to his model, 80% of humanity lives below this 200 threshold. They are, for the most part, identified with the false, conditioned, and wounded self. They will only see what will justify their victim blame state projected externally on the world. About 20% of humanity lives above 200 as a baseline, with the higher spiritual levels only a tiny fraction. They are more individuated, living authentically from their true self. For the most part, there's always a spectrum. They can perceive truth more accurately, take responsibility, and see any challenge as an opportunity. Moving from lower to higher states requires inner psycho-spiritual work to transmute the lower states. You can't just think yourself higher. It's not a mind state exercise or just using affirmations as in pop self-help exercises or New Age spiritual bypassing. The critical threshold to cross is courage. Most people lack courage. Not just courage in the outside world and getting out of your comfort zone, but also the courage to face yourself and stop lying to yourself. Many people are stuck in pride, unable to admit that they may have been wrong and are living a lie while they keep blaming others for their circumstances, or they feel entitled as if the world owes them something. Existing on the baseline above 200 doesn't imply that you won't experience lower states of negative feelings or emotions anymore. It just means that the lower states don't define you. You won't get stuck there and can process them quickly. Likewise, people existing below 200 can have flashes of above 200, but they're very transitory. The gravitational pull of the lower states will pull them down again until suffering finally teaches them to stop blaming the outside world and stop wallowing both in self-pity or pride and take responsibility to transmute these lower states via conscious inner work. Moving up the ladder of consciousness is a process that takes many lifetimes and resembles the soul's trajectory in its evolution. Interestingly, Hawkins' map of consciousness relates to the evolutionary stages in evolutionary astrology, based on Jeffrey Wolf Green's work. According to evolutionary astrology, about 75% of humanity lives in the consensus state, 20% in an individuated state, and 5% in a spiritual state. There are also few subdivisions between these states. They also refer to the soul's evolution over lifetimes. Keep in mind that this is just a very superficial overview. While these kind of models, systems, and maps are very helpful, they have also been abused, with people most often evaluating themselves at a higher state than they actually are. More important is for you to sincerely engage in psycho-spiritual work, especially during these times. You can learn more about what we offer at thattimeoftransition.com and at my website veilofreality.com to assist you in this process. We also have over 130 podcast episodes with many practical tips and tools where we explore these topics in more depth. Just search for The Cosmic Matrix on Spotify or Apple Podcast.